Hello everybody, welcome back to Road to Master. Hope you all have an amazing day. We're starting off with the black pieces against the 1968 from Puerto Rico. Have we had a Puerto Rican yet? I don't know. Anyway, we're playing this. This I don't like playing against. I struggle. They're probably looking to play a c4 e3, I reckon, is my guess, I guess, my prediction for the future. I don't know what I'm on about. There we have the c4. Let's get castled. It depends what they do with the e-pawn, but usually in these fianchettos, they're playing for the e3. Maybe an e4 push, potentially, but I think it's unlikely. Likely. We could play a c5 here. Is not horrible. Trading off the queens early. I actually don't mind. If we're going to play it more like a King's Indian, then we need to get e5 in first to allow the knight to go to e7. Or we could play knight d7 with c5, e5 breaks. I've always struggled playing that, so maybe it's best going knight c6 or c5 first. I don't know. Let's go knight d7. It's what I would play probably in a classical game. So it's probably what I should be playing in the rapid games. I don't really know the logic behind it. I don't know how my brain works most of the time. D5 is an interesting move. We probably have to break there with e6. As long as we have this pawn chain here when it opens up, I'm not too stressed about that. C5 obviously loses a pawn. E3's a more, I don't know, boring approach. Slow approach is probably the correct thing to say rather than boring. And we probably break with e5 there. Either that or rook e8, I think could work. I don't think in this we're looking for f5 necessarily. Let's go rook e8. I think is fine. We're waiting for them to make a move with the e-pawn basically. We're also setting up e5 straight away. Rather than like damaging our pawn structures now. I wouldn't mind playing c6 or c5. So they go for e4 actually, which is fine. If they push, I think that's better for us. I think that is better for us. The question is, how much better? And what do we do afterwards as well is a big question. So we can target this immediately. Knight there seems to be all good for them though. We can target the base of their pawn chain. The problem is after one move as well like this, they can play a b4 and kick our knight out straight away. Not ideal. We do have knight d2 ideas. Forking the bishop and the pawn there. Bishop there seems to be okay. Yes, I don't know what I'm doing. Shock, Jacob does not know what he's doing. Let's go knight c5. I can't be wasting too much time either on this, because we're going to be low on time as per usual, and I hate being low on time at the minute. I don't feel fast enough. I feel slow at the minute, which is not ideal when you're playing a relatively fast time control. You know, it's 10 minutes seems like a lot of time, but if you're trying to make the most accurate decisions, then you need as much time as you can get, and 10 minutes is not a lot, especially without increment. With increment, I would be a lot happier. But unfortunately, they don't do like a 10-minute plus 1 or something. That would be cool. 10-minute plus 2 maybe. Because the next step up is a 15 plus 10, which is a whole lot more time than 10 minutes. You know, that's half an hour, what, 60 odd moves with a 10-second increment. That's a lot of time. That's a lot of time. They go H3. I like H3 in this system. Maybe not now. Because we potentially have like an F4 break. Inducing a weakness with G4. Maybe like Queen H4 or something if we can ever get rid of this. So we'll go F4. Why not? Why not? If they play G4, we can probably just take and then bishop takes, right? They go there. Now. That does not seem right to me. That does not seem right to me at all. Ah. That seems like there's tactics afoot. There. Do we have that? Do we have that? That's insane, right? That's too insane. Too insane. I don't know. Oh, they go pawn there, though. Ah, that's good. That's good. I like that from them. I don't like this move, though. This move seems slow. Seems weird. I'm not against the rook f8. I really want to push f4. G4 is annoying. I want to take this and go bishop there, but then, again, G4 is annoying. So maybe knight there, H5 is a reasonable response. I don't mind that. Knight there. Again, we have bishop takes without the threat of G4. And then we can go H5. H4, potentially. Maybe not. Maybe we want to keep H5 to stop G4 as an idea. And try potentially get this knight across over here, where not really threatening. B4 is coming. This is a bit more traditional King's Indian now. I'm a bit happier with this. I am probably going to have to do a knight f8 here. We're going down a pawn. Then again, there is potential for a very, very nice-ish looking attack. I can't say nice for definite because we're going on vibes, basically, like we do most of the time. And we're going to take with the queen here. I wanted to get the bishops and queens doubled up, but I don't think that's happening. They're playing dangerous games. I don't know how I feel about this. Why? What is the purpose of knight there other than to hit the queen? You're going G4? Oh, you go bishop there. No, but then we have queen D7, right? Ah, you've got a fork. Which is annoying. So we need to go queen F7. Right? Queen F7 is the only way to stop the fork. The bishop will have to come back. Bit annoying. We need to get these rooks in the game as well. H6 I think is fine. We can go potentially King H7, Rook G8. Get the rook lined up. Though then we are potentially walking into the queen over there. Let's go King H8. I don't think that's horrible. I think it's getting out of the check from the knight. G4 doesn't seem good for them. I don't like G4 for them. It gives us a bit of a way in, I think. We've got like a knight there hitting this. Potentially get the rooks doubled up with like the queen coming on F2. I think gives us a bit of a hook. H5, like we said, looks okay. I think they need to go F4 here straight away. But that's not a move you really want to play. You're giving me a bit too much counterplay. I think we still go knight there now. Is nice. Queen there, probably the right move. Probably the right move, yeah. We could try keep the queens on the board. Is probably, or we play a pawn down, or we play a pawn down with the bishop pair. I think is probably actually the more accurate way to play it. We'll go rook f8. This knight's not going anywhere. I don't know where it thinks it's going. It's not going anywhere though. We'll go there. And try get this rook maybe to g8. Oh, they're looking for that break. That's an interesting idea. That's an interesting one for sure. I think a5 here is fine, right? With threat of takes, rook takes. They have to deal with that. And they push, and now we can go b6. I think is fine for us. And now we go all out with the h5 break. Is actually reasonably flexible for us. Reasonably flexible. We got to rearrange this bishop to e8 first. Is the way to play it, I believe. Because these rooks are still covering these squares quite nicely. Threat on h4. You go king there. That can't be right. You've got the pin. Straight away, you've got the pin. Yeah, I think we're winning this. I think we're winning this. It does. That did not seem right at all. I think you had to go h4 there. Instead. h4 slows down a lot of my stuff. I think we still have tactics though. I think we still have tactics with bishop takes, pawn takes, and then that's sort of like a double attack on the bishop and knight. Oh, rook. The bishop covers the knight though. Oh, but then you've got potential mating threats. That's so insane. We'll have to look at that afterwards. I think they're really struggling here though. I don't know what they're going to do. Simple as. I really don't. Because you got pawn takes, rook takes, threat on the bishop, and then rook takes as well. Wow. I mean, scary stuff. You know, we're getting potentially 2 pawns up. So we're going from 1 pawn down to 2 pawns up. No, 1 pawn up. 1 pawn up. 1 pawn down to 1 pawn up. Opposite of yesterday's game, which we went 1 pawn up to 1 pawn down and ended up losing. We're going losing position into hopefully a winning one. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. We can only wait and see. 2 minutes 22 as well. If this ends as quickly as I hope it's going to end, we should be okay on time. Should be okay on time. And the main problem, if you don't sort of see this, is the pin on the king with this bishop. So they're unable to move this or take this or anything. Even then, nasty mate right there if they could take it. Yeah, it's they had to move. And then, do we do that? Do we do takes? We have to do takes, right? Takes, rook takes. And you go, this rook takes or this rook takes? This rook takes, so you're threatening the bishop first. And then maybe even bishop takes. Oh, you go there. Oh. No, but then we have rook there. And that's borderline lost, right? With the pin. Borderline lost. Knight there, bishop takes. We're up a pawn. Or we'll just go rook g4, right? Rook g4 seems good. I think they're struggling to defend these. And maybe, oh, you go there. Ooh, that's a bit annoying. Oh. No, that's fine, right? Rook h7, rook h4. Win the knight, potentially. Threat of bishop g5, bishop check. Threatening checkmate, actually, is very interesting as well. Oh, you go there. Fairs. Go there, and then just win these or promote. Get the bishop involved first, probably more important. Check. Rook takes. The pin, nasty stuff. Nasty stuff. And we're running low on time. We're running low on time. It didn't end as spectacularly as I thought it would, but that's not necessarily a problem. Go there. Again, I don't know. I don't want to repeat. Go king there. I think that's fine. And just win these. I think this is one. Just there's nothing stopping us from promoting this pawn. Yeah, there's nothing they can do. Check, promote. Perfect. This is where you resign. This is where you resign, or not. Amazing. That was a nice series of pre-moves as well. I really liked that. That was fun. That was really, really fun. I think we were definitely losing there at some point. Giving up that pawn was sloppy, for sure. But I reckon a relatively high accuracy, to be honest. I reckon we've got decent scores. What have we got? What have we got? Tell me. Enlighten me, please. 81.7 versus 76.7. They were definitely better out of the opening. They slipped up. We missed it. And then they slowly lost until we just won it, basically. 2100 versus 1850. Very good opening from both of us. And I was just slightly better in the middle game. I think that was all it was. Anyway, let's have a look. So, I'm not going to go too much over the theory. You can go deep into the theory. I don't know it. To be honest, it's borderline impossible to know every single line in the King's Indian. You just sort of know the ideas and hope it all works out in the end, basically. At my level, anyway, definitely for sure. I know this is a relatively normal setup. Going for the pawn. Like, usually if you play knight d7, knight bd7, this is the setup you're going for, where you're hitting this pawn, and things are different. If you're going for knight c6 instead, where you get e5 and knight to e7 after push, then you're looking for more of the f5, f4 breaks. So it's just general ideas. I don't know the theory, which is why we slipped up. And the thing is, they don't really know either, which is good for us. We decided to break open on the f side, on the king side with the f pawn, and yeah, b4 has been coming for a long time. Apparently you can take this. That doesn't seem right, surely. I guess to be fair, whatever they take, they can't take back with a pawn. So whatever they take back with, they have to lose. And we just go down a pawn, basically, with more open lines, which sort of could work in our favor, potentially. So that's a very interesting idea. I like. And this was very awkward as well, because our knight and our bishop was stopping them taking, and knight was threatening. When they kick us out, we block off our bishop and we move our knight. So things get bad. We have to lose a pawn. You can go this way. Oh, sorry. You can go this way and then lose a pawn this way. Maybe you can say you get a bit more of an attack. I don't really know how that would work. Apparently you go a5 here. I will never understand computers. We decide to move this way and at least get our knight over to the king side with the cost of a pawn. So potentially we can get some sort of attack going. Bishop f5, takes, knight there. And then queen e7 is actually the right move. This is a blunder. Oh, you can take this bishop. This is where we messed up because of the pin on the queen. I should have seen this one. I really should have seen this one. But yeah, that's sloppy. And this, I'm not feeling hopeful about this position at all. I don't think we have any real chance of an attack until they sort of overcommitted with like a g4. Especially f3 leaves a lot of holes in their position. At least potentially I'm playing for a draw. And trading off the queens I think was a good idea for us. They have too many weaknesses. They have a really bad piece. And even though we're playing down a pawn, our bishop pair combined with their bad bishop, terrible bishop, I should probably say, is probably about playable. We went rook f4 to try and just stop this push and try double up, make some sort of play. And I really like a5 as an idea. Probably should have done it the turn before this rook had the chance to sort of come in with this pawn. But hey, we ended up doing it and they took the bait. And this is where I was a lot more happy because we don't have to worry about this queen side at all. This is just completely locked up. And we can focus all of our attention on the king side where we're either playing for a draw or getting an attack depending on sort of what our opponent does. Allows us to lock up with b6 is the whole point. If they take, it's very interesting. Potentially they can push. I don't think that's a good idea though. Apparently the best move. Wow, actually insane. I guess you take all of these three. I potentially can claim I've got some counterplay on the king. Chess is hard. Chess is very, very hard. But b6, I'm so happy in this position. Definitely not confident enough to say I'm winning yet. But things are looking good. We rearrange our bishop. And here they made a series of bad moves. I liked h4, actually. I liked h4. Sort of dismissing some of our pushes with like counter pushes. I'm not sure. They definitely needed to play h5 at some point though. It just stops our whole idea of push. We probably should have done this a turn sooner before they actually get the chance to stop it. Luckily for us, they didn't. And this king move is, I would call it a blunder. I would really call it a blunder. Yeah, it's gone from drawing to borderline completely winning. It's hard to imagine white ever actually winning this. Bishop h3 is an interesting try. And apparently knight takes is the move, and you just allow this, which is insane to me. Oh, because of the mate threat. No, it's not mate threat, though. Bishop there. Bishop comes back. And apparently you just play the endgame. You just play this endgame. I was a bit too chicken. And sort of traded off this way, which is practically the same. I guess you can claim you have a bit more counterplay on the king. I'm not really sure. Apparently bishop g5 is a move. And like we said, hoping for bishop f4 where we get the mate because of the threat on the rook. Rook f4, you probably, go for the same thing. And then they have to change it, trade the exchange. And this is sketchy. This is very, very sketchy for sure. So I like that a lot. I like that a lot. We decide to go rook h7. They traded off rooks, which doesn't seem right. Rook f1. potentially a rook h4, and then you trade off is a bit more doable because our rooks aren't as sort of active on these pawns. And then we finally get this bishop across. We mess around for a bit here, for sure. Almost repeat, then we go king e4, which is the right move. Trade off. And the reason they move the rook to the side is to try and counter-attack our c7 weak pawn, which holds all of our pawns in place. So we just move the rook back to f7. There's nothing they can ever do. And also this rook back here is cutting the king off completely. The king can't get past here without first offering the trade of rooks by blocking and then moving the king behind. So that's fine by me. And this is almost pre-movable. We just promote the pawn. They have to stop. They go behind, which is interesting. We can just actually go king e3 here. We messed about a bit there. Bit sloppy. Luckily, we had the resource of rook f1 check, supported by the pawn. And then you just promote. Rook takes. We messed around a bit more, but pre-moves are pre-moves, you know. We took all their pawns. Promoted. And you've got to be a bit careful here with the rook and queen. There is potential stalemate threats. But this queen moves quite tidy because it supports the rook. Yeah, it's looking for mate as well. So, yeah. We won. We won one. We won one. Yeah, it feels like ages. Anyway, thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. Please like if you liked. Please subscribe if you really liked. And I'll catch you guys all tomorrow. Bye-bye.